In the beginning of December, we saw the Season 3 regional finals of the BPL in EU, NA and South America. It was an awesome weekend with great Battlerite being played. It was bittersweet, however, considering that this was the last BPL season and that SLS are now, as they themselves put it, taking a step back from esports. The reason for this is to evaluate this year and find a new sustainable format for the future of the scene. If you want more info on this step back in particular, I have made a video discussing the dev blog in which they made this statement. Another sad thing, however, is that in the middle of the Season 3 LAN being cancelled and this step back, a lot of the BPL players are moving on to other titles. So even if we have a new esports scene in the next 6 months, it might be without some of the most iconic players in the game so far. However, there is reason to hope that there will be some sort of esports scene again. When they announced the step back, one question came to my mind immediately, and that is, will Bocado, the esport coordinator, still have a job at SLS in 2019? If not, then that would probably mean the end of things, right? I was waiting until after the finals of Season 3 to ask him, but he actually answered it before I even had the chance to ask. The day after the finals, Bocado tweeted and thanked everybody for all the good things that this year had brought, and he also said, and I quote, "I am not leaving SLS anytime soon." And this is reassuring. It doesn't necessarily mean that we will see a new SLS run tournament in the very near future. Now we'll probably see SLS working on further developing Arena and them working on the upcoming free-to-play release of Royale. However, this does mean that there actually is people on SLS to actually do this evaluation and consider how to go forward. So on that note, I thought I would spend a little time talking about how I think the future esports scene of Battlerite Arena could and should look. First of all, I think we should move from a league to a tournament circuit. Running a league had a few problems. One is that it meant a big commitment from players. It took up a lot of time. Another one is that it was hard to keep the interest of the viewers. While the most hyped BPL games could have somewhere close to 7,000 viewers, a Season 2 group stage game with nothing big on the line could have around 500 viewers. I think these problems would go away if we, instead of a league that runs over the course of maybe 6 weeks straight, would have tournaments that are short and sweet. One tournament in one weekend. And we've kind of seen this already with how Season 3 turned out, right? Not for the players, they still had to play the group stage games offline, but us viewers, we got to see the playoffs where the top 4 teams played against each other in double elimination format over the course of 2 days. It was short, it was focused, and I think both EU and the NA broadcasts had over 6,000 viewers from start to finish, which is good for Battlerite. So instead of a huge league where big parts of the season is just the road to playoffs anyway, we could have a bunch of short tournaments in 1 year. Secondly, there should be an international LAN tournament to crown the best Battlerite team in the world. But to begin with, we only need one. I say end each Battlerite year by having a World Championship at DreamHack Winter. I've said this before, but I don't think fans and players would have been pissed if SLS from the start said we're just going to have one LAN in 1 year. People got pissed because they said they were going to have 2 and then they canceled the second one kinda last minute. One LAN is more financially sustainable for SLS and enough for an esports scene the size of Battlerite. Now then, we have small online tournaments and one big LAN tournament. Now, I think these smaller online tournaments should give teams 2 things. One is prize money, the other is qualification points for the LAN. After all online tournaments have been played, the 2 teams from each region with the most qualification points, or whatever they be called, qualify for the LAN. The reason for this is that while money is always a nice incentive to play in a tournament, believe me when I tell you, for most, if not all Battlerite pros that I've talked to, being able to travel with your team to a big LAN tournament, test your strength against the best teams from the other region, that means a lot more. That experience is what competitive gamers play for, along with the glory of being able to call yourself the best in the world. So if these online tournaments would be a step towards reaching that, all tournaments would feel meaningful for players to participate in, and it would also raise the stakes and make every tournament more interesting for us viewers. With all this, there's one thing I think would be smart to do, and that is to open up this tournament circuit to third-party tournament organizers. I mean, imagine if tournaments like Rival Esports or Battlerite were to return. SLS could then help them out by contributing with some of the prize money and say that these tournaments also generate qualification points for the DreamHack Winter LAN. For SLS, that would mean that they would need to make a small financial contribution, and after that the other tournament organizer does everything. And what the organizers get is a bit of help with the prize pool, but more importantly, they would get those qualification points, which would give the best teams a big incentive to play in their tournament, and therefore the best circumstances possible to attract as many viewers as possible. If SLS would run a few online tournaments each year and some approved third-party organizers would run a few, we would actually have a lot of Battlerite Esports all leading up to an international LAN event. And thanks to bringing in these third-party organizers, this situation would be even more sustainable for SLS than compared to them financing and running everything all by themselves. So there you have it. That is how I would want the esports scene of Battlerite Arena to return. What do you think? Am I onto something here? Do you think I'm dead wrong? Let me know. And if you do enjoy this and would like to see more videos on Battlerite in particular, and sometimes gaming and esports in general, do drop a sub on your way out. Thanks for watching.